All right, guys. So I'm super stoked to be with you guys tonight. This is going to be an awesome show, man. I came over from one of the bigger YouTube channels, man. I hear this channel actually will focus on what I need to be a successful investor. This is going to be so much fun. I'm going to get some of my friends and we're going to have so much fun tonight. Let me go get them, guys. It's going to be a great. Take this opportunity and welcome everybody to the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. No doubt about it, I was kind of looking forward to this one. It's been an interesting week. I hope you're all doing just absolutely fantastic. One of our folks is actually down a little bit right now, so a shout out from the Independent Investor channel. Absolutely. So our thoughts go out with you as you recover. Certainly, Mr. Weber, we're with you, and just can't thank you enough. Still made a point to come in here and say hello on the live stream. You know, on this channel, I don't run a large YouTube channel, so I have the ability to reach across the aisle and really get to know folks. I typically keep the message aimed at individuals. I really do. I think I have battled this topic for the majority of my life, and I have observed it, unfortunately, in a lot of others. So I don't want you to take the title of this video wrong. I see this all the time. I'm going to be a millionaire and you're not, blah, blah, blah. And it pisses me off because if you're going to break out of your rut, you're going to have to change your mindset first. You do. And we really do. We strike at that psychology of approaching the stock market to give you fair expectations of what to expect before you even get engaged in the game. Now, there is going to be no substitute for being engaged in stock market investing. There really isn't. And I want you guys to understand before we get started, and if you're new to the Independent Investor channel, especially the live stream, I keep it pretty amped up. I thought last week's product was probably the best product that I've ever thrown down on the live stream. While I was giving it, I was like, yeah, dang, man, I was pretty fired up. I'm pretty proud of that because that has the ability to really motivate people on the money topic. And I think, unfortunately, the money topic does a very, very good job of demotivating people off of the topic, of frustrating people off of the topic, of really taking away all hope of ever getting ahead in the money game. And I think that's really, really unfortunate. So if you guys stick around tonight, I've got quite a list that I'm going to roll out to you guys. In 60 minutes, I aim to please. I do not aim to entertain. I aim to please. In other words, sit back, relax, please enjoy the show. And please understand that after this 60 minutes is concluded, your life has the potential to be changed forever. So please buckle your seatbelt. We're going to capture a lifetime of investing experience, and I'm going to jam it through a 60-minute live stream tonight. So welcome to everybody. So I drop the link from time to time into the thread for the group. I'm going to drop one in there now. There it is. It's there for you. Because typically when I get on my rant and my soapbox, I usually am in my zone and I forget to do certain things on the live stream. I guess that's a lot better than sitting here silent. I've done about, 150 to 200 of these products. And I've yet to script any of them, and I've yet to pull a flatliner either. So you can be rest assured that if I have the opportunity to engage with my audience, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump right into some of these questions and comments because I really want to always try to circle back with you guys what you're seeing on the landscape, give you some of my perspective on how to be independent in your life. There was a product that I released through the channel this week. I'm exploring some creative opportunities on the channel, and this is something that I've always wanted to maintain on the channel, and that is creative freedom. And if I roll out a product, whether it be a company review or a CEO interview or something that I want to just exercise some creative opportunity on the channel, I want to do that. I don't want to hesitate at all. I know there's a lot of channels out there that just, they don't want to release content through their channel because it might irritate the algorithm. I've been on a nerve of delivering this message and always trying to not get caught up the way the masses, especially on YouTube and social media, get caught up. What I mean by that is I've been able to garner a pretty darn loyal audience by people just coming on and sitting back. And at least I hope this is the reaction that people get. They're like, dang, this is the first time I've actually sat across from an entertainment venue and been actually able to resonate with the person that's talking. In other words, this guy's kind of a normal fella. In other words, he would probably crack a couple beers when we're barbecuing hamburgers together and talk the way that he's talking now on a live stream. If that's the impression that you get on my product, you're absolutely correct. Why do I do that? I've always looked at the value of social media being in the conduit itself, in the delivery mode. And if you just sit back for a second and try to understand all the different delivery conduits that I have now, I couldn't be prouder. 2020 was, at least with this small niche, a very, very productive year for me. And there's been some opportunity for some folks to seek out some direct exposure to me. Check. There's been the ability of people to reach out to me and provide me some really interesting opportunity to both cover companies and provide CEO interviews to my audience. I do want to premise those a little bit because I do get compensated outside of YouTube for that. So if you guys would be so kind as kind of my loyal community, if you would click on that to give me a view and then click off if you're not interested in those, that would be absolutely lovely. But don't think for a second that you just need to rush out head over heels and jump into these stocks that I'm covering for both of these advertising companies. I am not. Okay. So I would expect that you take it as entertainment only. I'm not really sure where they think the value is, but as long as they keep paying me a fat paycheck to roll that product out, I will continue to do that on the channel. And I would expect the audience to just take it as one of those many different products that I'm trying to roll out. I cover passive investing options. I cover dividend investing options. I cover the accounts that you can own. I cover how you start in the stock market. I cover all that. And the longer you're with me, the more you're going to understand that you don't come on to my channel to try to emulate what it is that I do. No way. No way. I think there's a lot of content creators out there that actually speak in those terms, in that they expect, because they've had success, that somehow visitors to the channel can come on and also enjoy that level of success. And I just beg to differ. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how it works in the real world. And I don't think that's how it works for the masses who are trying to just work, honestly, I might add, support a household. Yes, maybe support some kids, raise some kids, grandchildren, family, proper, intermediate, secondary, whatever it may be. That's where I think most people can kind of sit back and say, wow, you know, finances has been kind of a distant priority for me. This guy's talking about maybe bringing it in a little bit closer to the vest. Maybe I could look at the prospects of doing that in my life. And that's all we're ever looking to do, is to try to find your personal best. Absolutely. I think if there's any strength on my message, it's identifying strengths in people where they don't think that there is strength there to be had. I beg to differ. I really do. I think a lot of people really do sell themselves short. I think there's a lot of avoidable mistakes, and that is being too careful, being too gullible, believing everything that they hear from everywhere, not trusting themselves enough. Does some of this sound familiar to you guys? Right? So I aim to strike at the real psychological barrier to investing, and we speak investing, but I think a lot of these psychological barriers do transcend to other things in your life. I really do. I think finances, to be quite honest with you, where financial planners will tell you how impossible it is to do on your own, I'm here to advocate and be that ambassador for independent investors and tell you that it can be one of the easiest things you can possibly do. Now, if you want to try to quit smoking or drinking or take up an exercise regimen or get your diet under control, those, quite honestly, are things that I personally struggle with personally. And I know I'm not the only one in the world. And I would contend that for a lot of people, that would be a heck of a lot more difficult than getting the personal finance right. So the topic tonight is going to be why most people fail. But I want you to kind of sit back and realize that failing at investing, failing at something that not everybody is going to have the luxury to do, it doesn't mean that you're a failure in life. And it doesn't mean that because you choose not to invest, doesn't mean that you can't control some of those other aspects in your life to lead a good, healthy, fulfilling life. It doesn't mean that. But I'm here to break down barriers for those people who want to supplement their life with that financial piece. And I'm telling you what, guys, why is that relevant? Why is this important? Why is it important enough to come on to YouTube and build out a channel with 500 videos? Why am I so adamant about coming on and doing the live stream every Friday? It's because people need this material. They need it, and they need it earlier on in their life. So when they get to those later stages in life, they're not looking back and saying, man, I really wish I would have paid more attention. I really wish I would have spent freaking less. I didn't really need all that garbage that I justified buying in my younger year. And now I wish I would have the security that that nest egg would have provided had I just been a little bit more smarter, a little bit more disciplined, and had a little bit better perspective earlier on in life. There is no perfect life. There's just life. And what we're looking to do is maybe fine tune your application and make you that much better of a steward of your own personal finances going forward. That's it. So not to give you a eulogy at the top of the live stream, I was going to have the sheep, my new guest, run the live stream tonight, but I thought that was probably out of line. We don't want to get out of line, and we don't want to offend people. All right. Money's a very serious topic. All right. We're going to talk about letting some of that stuff go. And you're going to find it refreshing to understand that I typically do not buy into the way everybody else says that you have to live your life. As a matter of fact, if you came to me and said, Ryan, it was really motivating to sit across from your message. I've deployed A, B, and C for me and my family because of X, Y, and Z. I'd be like, right on, man. Congratulations. You've understood the niche of my message. All right, guys. So I do want to get to the group here, and I want to give some rundowns, man. So Mr. Weber's got to get better for us. He got to get well, certainly. So we want to send well wishes as well to Mr. Weber, certainly. Very, very staunch supporter of my message, and it is a two-way road that's reciprocated. I didn't buy stocks this week. The market was mostly green. I was the same. I've been kind of off the grid. Miss Lydia, featured channel of mine. You guys are welcome to check her out. Links are provided, or you can link over from YouTube directly. I bought Switchback this week. I put a pretty big position in JMac Investing, who's my brother from another mother who runs JMac Investing, as well as Educated Investor, which is his other channel. He hit me up and told me to take a look at it. I liked what I saw. I think, interesting enough, if the presidential election turns out the way that I think that it will, the writing is kind of on the wall. I think the electric vehicle space may actually get a nice tailwind, actually. So we'll see what happens. But that was the only buy that I had. As a matter of fact, the majority of my activity was some heavy selling to the tune of about $75,000. So I did put some money to the side here. This was money that I put to work during the depths of the pandemic in March. And here with the market at an all-time high, I think over the last 2 or 3 days in the market, since Tuesday night, which was election night, I think we've been provided somewhat of a gift, to be honest with you. I'm not buying a euphoric rise right now. I could be completely wrong. My long positions will get hurt if the market goes down, and I will improve upon my position if they go up with my longs. But I was able to take some really, really good profit this week. Hyliion started to come off the base. I've been on the phone with the broker this week 2 or 3 times just this week. Because there will be some arbitrage money there made with my Hyliion warrants. For you guys that tune in to my live stream to get the real talk, the real talk is about $2,870. So, excuse me, 2,870 shares. That's a hell of a lot more than $2,800. But just to frame and give you some context surrounding this Hyliion opportunity, I think it's one of the biggest opportunities that I've ever come across in my life. There is a great interview that Thomas Healy, the CEO of the company, just gave. It is publicly available. I highly encourage you guys, just for nothing else, for interest's sake alone, talking about CNG and RNG and the benefits of those compared to the electric vehicle option, as well as the hydrogen fuel cell option, which are the waves of the future. But it's a really good presentation that he gave, and I think that will really coin it for you guys. But for me, what it means is I rode the stock all the way up to 50, whatever it was, and then all the way back down to take it for a fairly relatively anemic profit. But I 5x'd the position. So something that we're going to kind of get into as well, that I find in a lot of people, is their inability to take calculated risk in this life. And you do run the risk of living your whole life by not taking enough risk. All right. Something to kind of chew on and marinate going forward as I continue to get to some of these folks at my spiritual leader as well. Absolutely. It did 275 3 times tonight. All good. You'd be happy. I don't know what your bench press is. All good. I don't know. I think all good's probably putting up about 250. So I think I got you, but she's a little lady for sure. But I think she'd be proud of me. My goodness, keeping that balance. Keeping that balance. That's what you got to do. That's great to see you. Fantastic. All right. We got Retire with Options. Randy's in the house. Appreciate you making your way in. This is obviously a little less aggressive than last Friday. I just had a wild hair on last Friday's live stream because I had to boot somebody from the channel who was acting a fool. So it got me fired up. Somebody should just get me fired up like that every single week, because it's somewhat difficult to manufacture that type of that craziness. That was a pretty good product. If you did miss it, I would encourage you to go back and check it out, man. It's a good one. It's a really good one. Chris J. So I bet a little on the red and enjoyed it yesterday. Well, enjoy that wrench, my friend. I just threw one at you tonight. So congratulations, Chris. I just really appreciate all your support on the channel and helping us spread the word. You know, you guys are all ambassadors for all your networks and people that you know. It doesn't take a whole lot. A referral is free of charge. Go out there and tell them what we've got going on this channel. I'll grow this message as slow or as fast as you guys want me to grow. I have no problem. I'm not going anywhere. I appreciate you coming on, Chris. But yeah, I threw a wrench at you tonight. That's a compliment, by the way. Don't get mad. All right. You got passive income investor. My Canadian brother from another mother. Absolutely. In the great north, Canada. Fantastic. Our neighbors to the north. It's great to see you, my friend, who's absolutely, he's back on that, that upshift mode on uploading videos. Don't know how the guy does it, but you absolutely got to tip your hat to the guy's effort. He's really cranking it out, and I'll be the first to say, good job, man. Keep it up. I'm doing great. Investing with Kevin's in the house. Says howdy, folks. Appreciate it. The howdy, folks. Is that a reference to my sheep? I hope you guys don't mind it. I'm just trying to have a little fun. It's all right. I look forward to this like you guys look forward to it, hopefully. Kyle says rich gangs in the house for sure. Got hidden freedom investing. I caught this comment actually before the stream went live, and I thought it was real legit. Dave knows what he's talking about, and he's right on the money. If you do have that luxury to sit on it long term, it really doesn't pay off to pay the principal down, especially if you do have time on your hands. And if you're looking to flip the house, I don't think it pays off there either. I think you're just kind of wasting money into a vacuum. But the principal will pay off slow over time anyway, as the rent payments come on and you get to enjoy some of that. Some of those write-offs that he's talking about there. Absolutely. And Kyle says, hot Dave, we talked about this last Friday, and I think you guys need to just please do me a favor and just let this go. All right. We're going to let this go. Thank you, Kyle, for doing that. That's great. So Ben in the house, why do we fail at investing in the stock market? This wasn't literal, and it certainly wasn't aimed at the audience. It was a statement, and I do freaking mean it. And I don't beat around the bush on the channel, that's for sure. But it's a hell of a question, and I'm gonna throw out the list right now. It's under a half hour on the stream. Then I'll spend the last piece of the live stream addressing the rest of the comments. I'm gonna hold my place here. But I think a lot of people, they fall victim to, and I've got notes on this one because I really wanted to get this across. They need to separate from influences, and they need to separate from their money. What I mean by that is I think people are way too married to the physical form of money. And I think people are way too married to the idea that they can just catch influences from all over the place, and that somehow is going to render some success. I disagree on both fronts. I think the most influential person on your own money is, in fact, going to be you. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with me on this. That's fine. Disagree the hell away. I'm right. It doesn't matter. You can freaking disagree. But if you're going to be wrong in this gig, why wouldn't you just want to be wrong because you're the one that you're answering to? In other words, you are the one that puts in the work. You are the one that works for your hard-earned dollars. You are the one who identifies that spark inside you to maybe get started on a program, maybe not even for you, maybe for the financial security of you and your family down the line. But I think we get into this habit-forming behavior, and I've done many, many YouTube videos and podcasts on this, where we work really, really hard, the money comes in, and then we spend the money. We work really, really hard, we spend the money, and it goes out. We get in this vicious cycle, and we tack together years and decades over a lifetime, and we fail to understand how important it is for us to somehow disconnect from that vicious cycle and intercept some of that money from yourself and leverage it to an investing program or a wealth building strategy for yourself. So I think you need to disconnect from both fronts there and stop trying to buy into look what everybody else does and just do the opposite. Yeah. Independent investor. There's a reason why I named the channel that. Independent, man. It means all sorts of good stuff to me. And it's not just about investing, it's about everything else you do in life. You need to spend less. Okay. You need to spend less, and you need to understand how you need less in this life. Okay. You don't need all the crap you buy. Okay. And if you want to sit across from me and you want to argue, I'm going to add something to my list. Open your mind and stop being a blockhead. Okay. Open your mind and be a little bit open to criticism. Okay. The reason why I hold the portfolio that I do is because I would sit here and tell you I make sacrifices. I don't. And I'm well cared for, but I'm a happy man and I don't need a whole lot, and I don't buy a whole lot. You guys see, I wear the same shirt every single week. You could like, gross, man. Did he just admit this on a social media platform? Yeah, I did. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm totally fine. I shop at outlet malls. I shop at TJ Maxx. Yeah, you don't like that? Great. You can leave. It's all good. I'm just telling you, you don't need all the crap that you buy. Okay. So if you can try to institute a little bit of discipline in your approach, this whole thing will make more sense as we look to outline or set a framework for this very discipline to set yourself up for success and not failure in the market. Okay. You need to pay more attention to investing. A lot of people are at a zero when it comes to awareness to stock market opportunities, stock market education, stock market awareness pieces, a lot of like this free of charge. I do this free of charge. Guys, I don't make a whole hell of a lot through YouTube to do this. All I ask for is your appreciation. And every now and then people are like, dang, Ryan, you just changed my life. Good, great, awesome. You didn't pay anything and I didn't get paid anything to offer the product. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely thing. Okay. But I'm not saying you have to pay as much attention as somebody like myself or somebody like Kyle or somebody like Matt with Matt Money. Okay. Because we're kind of sick. We could probably benefit from withdrawing a little bit from our program. The difference is we actually know when to self-induce that withdrawal from our own program a little bit and seek out other things that make us happy. We know how to press the envelope, and we also know how to retract and seek out those things that make us happy to keep our mind on other things, because we're wired a little bit different. We need to be engaged all the time. And I think there's a lot of people out there that also can resonate with that idea. If you're looking for a craft or a hobby or an interest, why not make investing at least part of that discussion? Your life will change big time, and it will frame how it is you actually look at money. Okay. Very, very important. Pay more attention to investing within a relative scale. All I ask you to do is get off the freaking launch pad. Most people are right here. They don't know the first thing about investing. And that, quite frankly, guys, is inadequate and it is unsatisfactory. All right. Pay less attention to the noise. Okay. TV to start. And how about elections? Let it go. It's freaking fine. Okay. It's amazing to me how many people pay so much attention to stuff that really, in all honesty, guys, probably isn't going to affect you that much. Okay. In other words, if you spent half the time you spend engaged in who's going to win Georgia or who's going to win Wisconsin, and you leveraged that focus that you're obviously capable of demonstrating into an investing thesis for you and your family, just think about how you could empower your own future regardless of who the hell the president is. There's a novel idea for you. All right. Pay less attention, disengage. Okay. Be proud of the fact that you are not part of the current, not part of the rat race, not part of this societal beast that consumes everybody else until they die, or they have a few marbles rolling around upstairs and they look back and they're like, God dang, man, I was owned my whole life. That sucks. Try being empowered, man. It's just awesome. I walk around with my head held high, and I'd like that for everybody. It's like, what do you think about that election? I don't know. I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to it. I'm paying attention to my projects, my community, my family, my coaching, my physical fitness, my health, and my sleep. I just summed it up for you. That's actually really my life day in and day out. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy. All right. You want to make sure that you're maximizing opportunity. Okay. This is why most people fail. Maximizing opportunity. Going in and sitting down with a financial planner may be advisable for certain people, but you are giving away part of the farm by doing that. Mark my word, you will pay for those services. And if you want to touch on the nerve of the independent investor, it is absolutely the opportunity of putting yourself in the driver's seat. And there should be people that come onto my channel, sit across from me, and they're like, this guy's a regular guy. This pisses me off. How does he do it and I can't do it? Well, wake up. This is your wake up call. Okay. Not only do I do it, but you can do it too, as well as the masses. Because I wouldn't have come out with this channel if my niche was just talking about stock market investing. No, it's not about that. It's about putting you in control of your own money, which is a hell of a lot more interesting as far as I'm concerned. All right. Identify what are those things in life that are free. They're free. Okay. And be proud to be cheap. Okay. Free things in life that people seemingly make way more difficult than they need to. Starting an investment account, right? Educating yourself, coming in and consuming some content from the Independent Investor channel, freaking free of charge. Don't succumb to all of his private groups. Those people are 10xing their opportunity because they ended up opting for a $2 a month. That's my shameless plug for my Viper group. That is absolutely one of my most enjoyable things to do. I wish they would take more advantage of me as far as my Zoom meetings, because that is my favorite thing to do, is actually sit across from people and really talk about helping people and taking a look at someone's program from a third-party perspective. I think that helps. If you're the one looking at your program all the time, I think it unfortunately creates a little bit of bias to yourself, and we have a little bit harder time being critical of our own program. And I'm talking constructively critical. Okay. We'll come up with every justification as to why the status quo is the way that it is, and we accept that. If somebody comes in like myself that says, hey, have you thought about this, this, and this? You're doing this, this, and this well, but maybe improving on these two aspects, eliminating this aspect, consolidating and organizing in this regard, right? And people are like, wow, that's incredible. And we're really able to accelerate that cleanup process for people, and we're changing lives. No big deal. And we'll continue to do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're not just creating content to create content. That's for dang sure. All right. Trust yourself and take risks. I've already talked about that a little bit. And for a lot of you guys out there, a lot of people may sit back, and the very subscribers that I'm after, they're tough to get to. They really are, because these are regular people. I'm a regular person. And if I sit across from a message like mine, I'm skeptical. I'm like, nah, I don't think so, man. No, you're telling me I need to take risk. I don't think so. I'm not a risk taker. I've taken risk before and I've gotten burned. I think the key is to define your level of risk, and don't be afraid to take that risk, because if you don't take risk in this life, you're setting yourself up on one of the most predictable, predetermined courses in your life than you can possibly put yourself on. And I think that can be a real big mistake, man. Take some risks. I'm telling you what, the very nature of me meeting my wife, the very nature of me paying off college, the very nature of me being aggressive with a lot of the decisions that I've ever made, the root element of those decisions at the time were my ability to justify and take on risk. Yeah. Yeah. And I know that's very, very scary for a lot of people. I know a lot of people out there they do not relate, or they do not seek out change in their life. But this can really be one of those opportunities to be like, well, hell, I can't just uproot and move states. I can't just quit my job and look for a different job. But investing might be that very opportunity where you've really got some skin in the game, and you really have that opportunity to say, you know what, Ryan mentioned taking a little bit more risk, but I'm not quite over here yet. I'm more over here. Okay. And I want to start slow. Maybe I'll end up over here like he's talking about. With the risk comes the reward. But I'm going to start right here because right now he's right. I'm not taking any risk. All right. Very good. Stop being so serious with your money. This is a motivational piece for me on the channel, in that I don't understand why people are so secretive about their money. They just don't want to talk about it. Oh, George, don't go onto YouTube. It's just terrible. It's just freaking money. Calm down. It's okay. Jesus, it's just money. Get over yourself. I don't think I'm any more or less of a person based on the dollars and cents that I have in my account. It's just money. It's okay. Now, I do acknowledge the power that money creates for me. I do acknowledge the level of security that money does create for me later on in life. And I do acknowledge the potential power of the legacy that might create for my kids, because again, said this many times, I don't really care myself about the money, the dollars and cents, blah, blah. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. I left 20 grand on the table with Hyliion. I was completely okay with that. I didn't expect the stock to do what it did, but I did account for that hypothesis, and I was prepared for it when it did happen, right? And here I am sitting on a gold mine right here, and this particular return doesn't just have me the potential for 65,000 or 80,000. This has the potential for 250, 300,000. So we'll see how it shakes. I mean, I could be the biggest loser. I could be the biggest beneficiary, but we're not going to get there by not taking some level of strategic and calculated risk in this life. But stop being so serious about your money. Okay. Can you get good investing direction from YouTube? Yeah, you can. You can. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think that was possible. It's absolutely possible. Absolutely. Buying into everything that the professionals say, because they really feed off of this. And this is the real niche of why I put out this title this evening, because it's super important. So many people fail at investing for the sheer reason that they are told over and over and over and over and over and over again that they cannot do it. They are told this. And specifically, a lot of this messaging comes from advertisements as a product of financial planners. A lot of them. You will sell. You will sell. You will panic and you will sell yourself out of the market unless you have my help. You will sell. You will fail. You will fall on your face and you will break your nose. It will be broken. There will be blood gushing on the freaking sidewalk unless you have my help. Come sit down with me and we'll talk about an elegant portfolio that's very nicely color-coded with graphs. And please understand how elegant and beautiful this is. I've got 6 appointments after you. And they'll sit down with you and they'll sell you that dream, okay? Because they make it seem like you cannot do it on your own. I'm here to tell you that is one of the biggest misconceptions and biggest lies in the industry today. And here we are, 2020, and I, for the life of me, can't understand why in the hell we're in the year 2020 still talking about this. The industry is in decline, and I couldn't be happier. I think it's an industry that we could just completely do away with, honestly. Hedge funds, there's always going to be people who want to brag on the golf course that they're part of a hedge fund, but they're losing 20% a year and paying 20% a year in fees to be part of that. But I get to brag that I'm part of a hedge fund, right? Mm-mm. Take all that and put it aside, man. You really can. If in fact the financial planner's argument is that you will sell at the deepest, darkest time in the stock market, why not just not do it? Right? I'm here to tell you that the golden rule in investing is never invest what you're not willing to lose. If you do that and you invest with scale and some risk tolerance, which we're going to talk about in a second, never sell. Never sell. Never invest what it is that you can't look at. And I used to use the half-life rule in that if you take your first $1,000, I've had people come to me and they're like, Ryan, I'm down $400 in the market. I took my first $1,000 and so what? So what? Did you invest every last dime you had, even though that was your $1,000 starting position to put to the stock market? How old are you? I'm 21. You're 21 years old and you're down $400. Get some perspective and then come back and talk to me. Okay. Never sell. Never invest. It doesn't mean that you can't start with some scale and start a program that makes sense for you and allow yourself the opportunity to sit back and say, you know what, if I lost 100% of my initial investment, what would my life look like? Would I be okay? Would I be able to eat? Would I be able to pursue my college dream? Would I be able to pursue my dream of starting a business? Would I be able to get married? Would I be able to have children? Would I be able to have a fruitful life? Will I be able to do all this stuff that really matters? Okay, because I'm here to tell you that $1,000, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't. I lost $3,000 penny stock trading when I first started investing, right? That's a mistake that a lot of people can avoid. But, and it was the very essence of that decision that really forced me to say, you know what, to hell with this. I'm out. I'm going and putting my money with a financial planner. And it was a terrible, terrible mistake. Okay. You want to make sure that you're not one of the victims being preyed upon, because the only way that you can absolutely guarantee yourself a free fee account is to be a self-directed investor. And I honestly will reflect back on my life and I will say one of two things. It was either the worst decision that I ever made. I should have went with a financial planner because they were capable of saving me at my deepest and darkest times, right? When I wanted to sell in March 23rd of 2020, man. And I called them up and I was crying my eyes out. And they said, Ryan, I'm with you, man. Are you okay, buddy? Are you okay? And they saved me. I didn't need that. And what I really didn't need when I reflect over my life is what it costs to actually get that false sense of security from the financial planner. They will tell you how difficult it is to asset allocate. I will tell you that's one of the easiest things you can possibly do. And they will sit across from you in a 20-minute tutorial, that of which Betterment and some other robo-advisors think they can do just by nature of 20 questions that they throw out there, is assess your risk tolerance. Risk tolerance to the market. I can guarantee you this. And I give guarantees on this channel all the time because, well, number one, it's mine and I get to say what I want. You can buy whatever you want, and you can discredit whatever else I say as BS if you'd like as well. But I'm going to tell you this, and I do believe this wholeheartedly. I believe individuals are the best suited to determine their own level of personal risk tolerance to risk. Man, if you just heard what I said, it's lovely. It's awesome. It's empowering to be like, wow, you just gave me the keys to my own financial future. Yeah, I did. I deemed you the most appropriate to Assess how much risk you're able to take. Now, you're never going to get this perfect right off the bat. And this is where financial planners will set you up initially and talk to you about tolerance to risk, et cetera, and build in buffers that are initially okay. But investing is an ever evolving art over the course of your lifetime, and you need to buy into that ever evolving piece. I've got investors in this community who had a risk tolerance of 2 on the scale. You know, they were maybe a moderately conservative, and now they're a moderately aggressive investor, just by nature of the natural progression of going from a beginning investor to a little bit more of a seasoned investor. They may not even change their style, but by nature of maybe just saying, hey, I'm a little more comfortable with investing, I'm going to invest more out of my paycheck. That right there is, in fact, an increase in your tolerance to risk to the smart stock market, because you're not so you're not so afraid of some of the stuff that you were afraid of when you initially started in the market. All right. The last couple things I will mention, and I believe this to be very helpful. I know it was a little more educational and a little less entertaining tonight. I did cry for you on the live stream. That was pretty awesome. Jesus. Send me an Academy Award. There's another thing I don't watch. Excuse me. Stop expecting perfection. I've already mentioned that. And have perspective and be consistent with that perspective. Allow yourself to grow and evolve in what you can handle, and identify what it is that maybe you don't feel so comfortable with. Evolve with those observations. Pay attention, okay? And don't have expectations of yourself that you're not able to deliver, all right? I said at the top of the live stream, each and every single person who frequents my channel, every single one of them, if you've been with me a while, you may start to kind of experience some of this. And I hope this upon you. I do, in that you look at things from a different perspective. Maybe before it would have made you upset. Maybe before it would have thrown you on tilt. Maybe before you would have really become depressed about a certain observation. And now you take it a little bit more like a grain of salt. That means your armor is built up a little bit and makes you a little bit tougher in this life, which we could all use a little bit more of. All right. If you're getting some of that from the message, right on, man. That's all we would ever want. Remember, I don't want you to close the book on a 60-minute live stream and say, wow, that was a complete, utter waste of my time. Some do. Some do. And those people will continue to have their head up their backside for the rest of their life, because they have failed to understand what I've told you to be one of the most critical things that you can possibly do for yourself. Be open to listening to other people. I do. I might not agree with everything you say, but I will give you the time of the day to actually listen. And it doesn't mean you have to trip over yourself to deploy everything somebody's saying, but I absolutely think that having an open mind definitely has its place, especially in this gig. All right. So I'm going to get to the questions here, guys. Thumper, the Heart of Gold. This is one of the reasons going down is selling puts on Intel. Yeah, I've been selling stock a lot. I'm not buying chips right here. I'm not. I've parlayed a lot of stock this week, and we're gonna monitor the market for a while. I'm very, very satisfied. This has been an enormous year for me. Enormous. I think we're approaching easy 50 grand of trading profit alone. That does not include any of the social media revenue, etc. I very rarely, I've never come out with a video saying, "Hey, look at me! How much do I make in my 6 passive income streams?" I don't do that. I don't really care. I think it's arrogant, and I think it turns some people off. Some people love it. The sheep love it. Bah! I think it's stupid, because it takes away from the focus of where I want your focus to be. And that is getting yourself off the launch pad. If in fact you are identifying that you need to find your start, that's way more important than me coming on and boasting about the pennies and dollars that I make on social media. I work hard for this money. I really do. And I won't apologize for it either. And I do believe that you guys are provided a heck of a benefit from tuning into the message too. Fantastic. All right. Let me cruise. Ben says, I want to succeed. See, that's the first step in the right direction. you know, you just want to have that belief. And I tell you what, the stock market will chip away at your belief sometimes. It really will. But you just got to be strong, and you got to have that mental mindset to want to persevere. There's no doubt. If you take those section videos that I put the techno music to, and you actually take the time to read each thing that I put on there, I put it on there for a reason. Either it's the way to be or something to avoid. So I think if you really parse through that message, I think you'll benefit from it. I really do. Mr. Bob Wright's in the house. Fantastic. Really great to see you. I thought this was a good question, RG Titan. I'm not going to restate what I've said, but RG, if you've stuck around with me, man, through this live stream, and if you want to stick around after, I had somebody from the great city of Toronto stick around with me last week, actually, and ask me a few questions in private. And I think it was very beneficial. You're welcome to do that. I'll be in the broadcast studio, but hopefully you heard what I had to say about the financial planning institutions. I'm a big advocate for individuals. I am an ambassador of somebody who deploys the self-directed investing strategy, and I do so without the compliments of a financial advisor. And I wish upon this world more people like me, but there's not a lot of us, okay? And I think the majority of people will fail in investing because of the broader acknowledgement that I think a lot of people will fail at life anyway. All right. New York investors in the house, man, for sure. Great to see you. You do not need to pay an advisor. I would question the level of service that you're getting for the compensation rendered. There's another way of putting it. I'm not saying that financial planners are bad people. I'm not saying that. I've had 3, 4 in my life. It was a good experience. What I didn't understand is how much I was paying during the time I was paying it until I was enlightened, or in other words, empowered. And that's what I'm trying to do for you guys, is to allow yourself the opportunity to have an educated opinion about your options out there. Because as much as financial planners would like you to understand that your option only exists through their conduit to the market, I'm here to tell you that that's not true. That is not true, especially with the power of technology, the availability of information now, and the emergence of products that can really satisfy any investor's palate. There's really no reason to opt for that service. And the industry is in decline for it, and they know it, and they're panicking. And I think it's lovely. I like to sit back and watch them squirm like a worm on a hook. It's lovely. I really do. Do you guys think the market will crash if Biden wins? Well, you guys come on to the live stream to get my insight on what I'm doing. I wasn't kidding. It was about 75,000. Yep. I've got portfolio reviews to do. They've been filmed for a while, and I may not release them because they're kind of out of date. They don't reflect what is in the larger 3 accounts. So I'm not saying it should have a whole heck of a lot to do with the market, and I'm fairly agnostic on my political prowess. I have family members that I feel like they don't like me because of my perceived political view. If they would just ask me, I would tell them I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. I just don't care. I don't care, because caring about that kind of stuff and really devoting my time the way some of my family members do that, I think it takes me away from things that I would rather focus on anyway. And that's just my personal choice. I serve my country every day with my employment. I don't need to prove myself in any other way. And I'm certainly not going to engage in an activity that I deem futile. In other words, it's a waste of time. But that's a heck of a question. All right. You can start a brokerage account in any designation. It doesn't have to just be a brokerage, okay? brokerage account can be a taxable, it can be a joint, it can be a Roth IRA. You can do anything of the self-directed nature, and I don't have an advisor in any of mine. And I talk to Merrill Edge all the time. I talk to trade specialists all the time, and I know more about warrants than they do. They've got to elevate it up to the people who actually deal with just warrants every single day. So they're people too, guys, just like us. All right. We need to start to grow a backbone, and we need to start representing ourselves as individuals and as part of a grander community that represents self-directed investing as really the most lucrative and the most efficient way to put your money to work for you and your family. It's not my opinion. It's mathematically factual. And financial planners will deflect this statement all the time. All the time. It's amazing. All right. Miss Becky's in the house, says, hello, everyone. I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're staying safe. Have a great weekend, Becky. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming in as usual. Love it, man. I'm about halfway through the comments, man. I would love to see these comments pop in here before the live stream, because it would give me a chance to actually comment through them. Big Tech got a boost. Sure did. Sure did. Actually, Big Tech was one of those larger positions that I did exit. I hold Cisco and I hold IBM, but I took some pretty good profit in Apple computers, and I took profits in Microsoft. I'm fine to do it. It's fine. We'll see what happens. All right. Don't get married to a stock, guys. All right. It's going to be the most unloyal marriage you ever have. They'll cheat on you. They will. Hey, honey, go up. They'll go down. You like that analogy? Good. Glad. They must have bought in March. Just cruising through here, guys. I got a couple minutes left to finish out the stream. I want to make sure we are good. That's a heck of a comment right there from my good friend. I am. Cruising down to the bottom. Got free trade to financial freedom. Awesome. Great to see you. And Cream Dividends in the house. I'm looking for Ryan on Comedy Central soon. Yeah, it would be great to go on Comedy Central if I was actually freaking funny. I'm funny when I'm in my zone, because I just think a lot of people take life way too seriously, and they take the things that I laugh at way too seriously. The election this week is a really good example of that. I don't care, and I don't put people on a pedestal. You're a celebrity. I don't really care. I don't care. I'd be like, hey, Ashton, what's going on? I really don't care. I just do not care. Okay. And I don't expect them to care about me outside of the fact that I am present, and you better acknowledge that. So I think you'd be more interested to meet me. Johnny Depp, he could probably use my advice right about now. Jeez, what a waste. One of my favorite actors of all time didn't learn how to take care of his financial position. And he didn't need one financial planner to ruin his life. He needed 8, 12. Yeah, he had a bunch of leeches around him to suck him dry. It didn't take that long either. Larry Massa says the GOAT. I like that. Appreciate it. I finally caught it live. Keep preaching, sir. We are listening. Well, I'll tell you what, the preaching came last week. I don't like to use that analogy, but I was really proud of the product last week, and I hope you caught that, because I maybe could emulate that every week. I don't know. Somebody's got to come on and digitally punch me in the face, or digitally irritate me, or come on and say passive investing doesn't work and really get me fired up, because I was pretty fired up. I was tired of his garbage for months and months and months. I don't have any time for that anymore, man. Go visit another channel, man. I'm sure they'll allow you to absorb into the flock of sheep on those other channels, man. I have no problem with it. Get lost. I have no place for you here. None. All good sums it up very, very nicely. We have less than a minute, and I just want to take a couple moments to acknowledge how awesome this lady is. It is all about the mindset. It is, because I've spoken many, many times, and I don't know if a lot of other financial YouTube channels talk like this. Maybe they do, but life is good. It's good. It's really good, right? So if we can get this small piece, engage if it suits your fancy, do it right, please, because you can get burned and you can get turned off of investing if you're not careful. But it is all about your mindset. And I like the word perspective. I really do. The ability to look at a situation that most people would look at as unsatisfactory, and you have ability to really look at it and find the positive in any situation. All right. Very cool. I may go just a touch over a little bit to get a good evening, and everyone's in attendance for sure. It was a good live stream tonight. Ryan's weekly streams keeps me solid in the stock market. Can't get enough pearls of wisdom. Yeah, listen. I'm very, very aware of my program, and so I can share that with you. My program is not going to be the same for everybody. It's really not. And the real trick of this gig is to find your place. Find your place. And I think there's a ton of people out there who can 10x my potential, no doubt. Avoid all the mistakes that I've ever made in the market, because I've made those probably by being careless and probably by being not patient enough, right? But man, find your personal best. That's the key. And always try to build upon what it is you think is your personal best. And if you start thinking that you've got this thing under control, reevaluate and remind yourself that there's always room for improvement. I don't care how you are. I'm more hungry now than I was 3 years ago. I'm more hungry now than I was 10 years ago. And that should tell you what it is that's required of you to always stay hungry and never, ever become complacent on the rollout of your program. All right, guys. Says Lydia's a good teacher, man. She is. Very cool. I got to take the Ryan as my top 10. Well, that's awesome to be number 10 on the list. Now, there's a ton of good YouTube content creators out there. I don't mean to be hard on those content creators. Everybody's trying to get their hustle. I understand that. Everybody's trying to build up a message. I do appreciate that. And I hope you appreciate it for the right reasons. I really am trying to aim this at getting everyone's personal best. So you can sit back and reflect on your life and you can say, you know what? Investing for me was the best thing that I did, not the worst thing. I was a success story in the market because I took control over my own financial future. And I wasn't one of the victims of failure because I didn't succumb to a lot of what can be consuming in the investing arena. Guys, I really want to thank you for tuning in. We went just a touch. I do apologize. Certainly can take the crowd over, continue the party, pour yourself a drink. That's exactly what I am going to do. I'll be over there in a couple minutes. Always want to try to help support Matt and Kyle. I'll kick in and say hi. They're friends of mine. You guys are all friends of the channel. Absolutely. You guys should feel like you're part of something absolutely special. Why? Because you are. Make sure you're catching us Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you do want to be a guest on the live stream, I always open the door, cordially invite anybody to make their way on the stream. Absolutely. Want to thank everybody. We'll be back next Friday, 9 o'clock Friday, and hope to see each and every one of you guys on the stream. We'll sign off now, guys. Really appreciate your time. Take it easy. Have a great, great weekend.